Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel. My name's Cole. My channel is called Schweers and Gears. It's my last name, Schweers, and I'd like to take you through some of my projects. This here is my 1958 Volkswagen Baja Bug. As you can see, it's been modified some. Um, if you're a Volkswagen guy, no, I did not chop up a clean 58. This car has been a Baja Bug for decades. When I got it, it was all together. It had a very minimal and simple Chenois roll cage kit. You can see the remnants of it in the blue there. I've since had the extra cage added on. We've lengthened the car considerably. It's 8 inches longer. It's got a 6-inch over beam. It's got center mount rack and pinion. All that's been removed right now for painting. Um, You know, on YouTube here, we see a lot of great cars, both on the budget side, intermediate, and really, really high end. I would say that, for me, I'm an amateur. I'm doing this for fun, and I'm going to be in that lower intermediate range. There are a lot of things in the car we've done ourselves. My father and I and friends helping out. And then there's a lot of stuff on the car that, for the sake of time and skill level, I've farmed out to people who know better. Um, like I said, the car's a 58. That's presented some challenges. We've converted the car over to IRS. That was fairly simple with the use of some jigs to mount those pivot pockets. And along with that, we've converted it to a bus box. This is a 002, as you probably know. It's an earlier bus box. I've had it rebuilt and upgraded some. It's got a 486 ring and pinion. These originally came with a 538 or a 541 ring and pinion. So it'll give me a little more top end. And I kept the original 0.82 fourth gear, but it's got a welded third and fourth, so some upgrades there. Car's got 12-inch coilovers in the rear. They're kind of sloppily mocked up right now. I'm gonna have to modify some of these mounts on the arms. They're way too close to my rotors. And the arms here, they're a 3x3. That's Volkswagen people talk for 3 inches longer, 3 inches wider. And I've installed what they call a torsion spring eliminator kit, where, as opposed to mounting the factory torsion spring in the torsion housing, we've just got a Heim joint mounted to a plate there. Real simple. The car has what I jokingly call the Flintstone mod done to it. The floors were pretty beat up in these areas, so I hacked them out with a plasma cutter, and I'm using some high-tech cardboard aided design here to make patch panels. I went down to the local metal yard and I bought some 20 gauge sheet metal. I've already got a bead roller and some pneumatic flanging tools to make that happen. So that's the next big thing. Also, I'm going to need to make some patch panels for the package tray, the rear of the car. The front of the car, like I previously mentioned, is 6 inches wider, and it's been tied all into the roll cage. That roll cage has then been tied into the torsion housing, about a 3-inch tube that runs across the width of the original VW pan. And even though this aftermarket beam is set up to be able to run adjusters and torsion leaves, it's not. I'm going to be going with triple bypasses and FOA coilovers. The bypasses are also FOA, so once again, kind of a budget-friendly option. The roll cage work, I farmed out to a local guy. From owning this car to now, I had my first child, I bought a house, I've been busy. This is actually, the car is at my dad's garage right now. He recently retired and he wanted to chip away at it. On this channel, I'd like to talk about project planning if anybody's interested in it. I've got too many projects, and we're making a lot of progress on them. But, you know, in today's world, it's not quite as easy to do classic cars as it once was. I think we all know that. I'm a younger guy. I'm newer in the hobby, even though I've been doing it for quite some time. As time goes on, it doesn't necessarily get any easier or cheaper. One of the things I've done here, you might ask, man, you got a lot of tabs to add on. There's a lot of things to do. Why are you painting stuff? My roll cage here and all the stuff you see primered, I've done in a self-etching weld-through primer. Really great product. I'm really digging it. There it is. So as the project proceeds, I can weld tabs on, mounting points, etc. Another odd feature the car came like this to me is the big hole in the bulkhead. Back in the day, somebody decided they wanted to run a Carmagia tank because it had a sending unit in it and it was easy to wire that up. So they punched a hole. For safety's sake, I don't know if we're gonna go that route. I'd like this car to have 3 seats in it, you know, 2 standard and one in the rear. But if I have to, you know, the gas tank's gonna go in the back seat. The rest of the drivetrain. So back in my garage, I've got the engine for the car. It's ready to go. I've got some plumbing to do for it, but it's going to be a 2332, all aluminum. So it's a case by Autolinea, aftermarket case. That's 2332 cc, you know, aftermarket engine. It's a 9-to-1 compression, and we're going to run a blow-through turbo setup on it. I can make another video referring to that. So we can talk about that engine, look at it. I can tell you the story of how I came to got it. It basically fell in my lap. I got a killer deal on the thing, and it's really pushed the rest of the build because of the power potential that it has versus a more mild engine. So anyway, this is my bug. We can talk about it more. As you can see, I've got steering to do. I've got brakes. I've got all sorts of stuff. Shift linkage to put in the car. Most parts I already have and or are currently being modified at some stage. So yeah, comment. Let me know what you want to see. On this channel, you're going to see me talk about this car a whole bunch. Provide some updates. I've got a 1940 Chevrolet Street Rod that we're going to take out of the 90s and give it a little bit of more of an old school vibe. And I've got my 1970 Chevrolet C20 Longhorn pickup truck that my dad and I restored. And it's kind of done. I've used it for years and years now, and now it's really just about maintaining the thing, keeping it up, keeping it on the road, because I don't drive it every day. Here in Southern California, gas is crazy. I love the thing, but it's a big block truck with no overdrive, so she drinks a lot of gas. It's awesome. I love it, but everything's got a consequence, unfortunately. My roll cage here. This is all 1.5 inch 120 wall DOM tubing. Most of the thing's been MIG welded. You can see when the guy did it, he TIG welded in some of these tubing couplers. He did an okay job. I didn't pay him a whole bunch of money. It was a budget deal for him and me. He did a really nice job on some of these shock mounting points. And everything, as far as I can tell, is pretty darn straight. So, is the car going to be a race car? No. Is anybody going to be teching this roll cage? No. It's a purely a for fun car. It will be street legal. You know, fenders will go back on it. I've got a one-piece fiberglass front end for the car that you'll see me install in a later video. And essentially, I wanted a vehicle that I could flat tow. Here in California, we can't flat tow anything that's not, you know, 100% street legal, which means it's got to be smoggable, and anything newer than 1975 has to be smogged. So my dreams of flat towing a dune buggy or a sandrail type setup couldn't happen. And so I changed course. I picked up the Baja Bug. It has a license plate. It's a street legal vehicle here in California, as they are all over the world. And here we are. We've integrated some of that sandrail tech into the Volkswagen. The closest thing I could compare this car to would be an old school Class 5, I believe. I'm not an off-road racer. I don't really know. But that's sort of what I modeled my roll cage design off of when I worked in conjunction with my fab guy to do it all. So, is this thing going to see the Baja 1000? No. Is it going to see Ocotillo Wells and maybe Glamis and have a good time? Yeah. Am I going to be hucking it off sand dunes and flying 50 feet in the air? No. But will she go pretty fast off-road? That's the plan. Anyway, guys, don't have too much fun out there. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you guys want to see next. You know, between the various projects, we've got a lot to talk about. So, have a good one. Out.